His Excellency's friends, thank you to Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina for inviting me to speak and for such a warm welcome in Bangladesh last month. Friends, I'm determined that COP26 will deliver for those countries most vulnerable to climate change. And I believe that the global partnership between those most responsible and those most vulnerable is at the heart of ambitious climate action. And I want to amplify your leadership to make progress on key issues, for example, loss and damage, and of course, to deliver on finance. Because whether it is adapting to protecting ourselves from the impacts of climate change or reducing emissions to keep 1.5 alive, we need finance to flow at scale. And keeping the goal of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees in reach is our shared and, quite frankly, only choice. I welcome your leadership and ask you to exert your full moral authority to push major emitters to take deep action. I've been absolutely clear with developed countries that we must deliver the 100 billion that we have promised developing countries. That is a matter of trust. And under the UK's presidency, the G7 has made some progress. Every nation committed to increase their finance commitments, including for adaptation. And Japan, Germany, and Canada put new money on the table. And we must build on this ahead of COP26. I have urged all developed countries to use events like the G20 ministerial meetings and the UN General Assembly to make more ambitious financial commitments, particularly those G7 nations yet to do so. And we need to publish a clear plan for how, together, we are going to deliver the 100 billion a year between now and 2025. And we must also deal with vital issues such as access to finance, loss and damage, fiscal space, and funding for adaptation. In March, I convened a climate and development ministerial meeting. And here, ministers and international institutions came together to address the issues I've just highlighted. We saw some real progress. For example, the UK is now working with Fiji and other partners to lead a task force on access to climate finance. I'm pleased that the IMF is preparing a $650 billion allocation of special drawing rights. The G7 has made clear that they want to channel almost a sixth of the newly allocated SDRs to support healthy, green and resilient recoveries from COVID-19 in the poorest and most vulnerable countries. And I very much support this call and want other countries to back the G7's approach. And I want to see a much more ambitious level of SDR recycling from the richer countries than we saw immediately after the 2009 financial crisis. So I urge richer countries and the IMF to respond urgently to the G7's calls on SDRs and the G20 to address the debt challenges faced by developing countries. And I urge multilateral development banks to also take action. Every MDB should set a date by which they will align with the Paris Agreement, as the World Bank and the EBRD have already done. And every MDB should meet their climate finance targets, increase them where possible, and develop plans to mobilize more private finance. Because with each of us playing our part, we can get finance flowing to climate action and ensure COP26 delivers for the countries most vulnerable to climate change. Thank you.